Good, happy Sunday morning. And if you get a chance to jump on and watch this video, it is going to be the conclusion of my 7 steps for having an ultra brain. It is also getting close to the end of the 28-day challenge for Team Heart, so that's always fun. But step 7. If you have not caught any of the other steps, they have happened all this week. They are live videos. You can find them on my feed. If you're part of my Nutrigenomics and the Alzheimer's Connection group, they will also be posted over there, so you can find them over there as well. But the last step is calming the mind. So this is pretty simple. It's just putting some good practices into place. So the biggest one is practice your gratitudes. Get a journal, write out your gratitudes. It's good to start your morning with gratitudes. It sets the tone for your day to remind yourself of the things you have to be grateful for. And then I recommend going to bed the same way. Writing out your gratitudes for the day, the things that have happened in the day. So practice gratitude, practice mindfulness, and another way to say that is awareness. So being mindful, being aware of both your environment, of the tasks you do. Don't do things mindlessly. Be conscious of what you're doing. I love one of my friends calls mindfulness being aware that every action is sacred service. And I love that because it's about being fully present in the moment and understanding that living life is sacred and everything we do has a sacred component to it. And if you just plug in to the divine, plug into your higher power, plug into God, however you need to frame that. It's about just being aware that we are part of something bigger and greater. Meditate. Hi, Johnny. Thanks for joining. Meditate. That's another one. It's important to meditate. It actually does physically changes your brain. It really can physically change and alter your brain. And they've proven it over and over again. It happens to be one of the best things you can do actually for your brain is meditation. A lot of people aren't comfortable with the word meditation. Some people like to say prayer. It's okay. Again, it's not how you frame it, it's the action. So practice meditation. The other thing is deep breathing. So I learned this fact, like 20 years ago probably, that it is physically impossible for you to be stressed and anxious if you are deep breathing. So if you feel that coming on, if you're in a high stress situation, if you're stressed, just in general about something that's happening, if you just stop and start practicing some deep breathing and pay attention to your breathing, it instantly pulls you out of that anxiety and it pulls you out of that stress and it puts you into a calm state. And so practice deep breathing. Really easy to do. Practice yoga or Tai Chi. Both of those are really good because they really teach you about the mind-body connection, and it's about movement, and so your body's moving, which is also good for the brain, but it also teaches you how to be present and in that awareness mode. Get lost in a hobby. I love this. So for me, it's writing. Writing since I was in high school has always been my release mechanism, my escape. It's what I do to relax. I'll pick up my computer, I'll sit down, I'll pop up one of my stories because I'm a closet romance writer, and I will start writing on a story, and hours can go by and I won't even notice how much time has gone by. When you get lost in a hobby, something that you love, that you're passionate about, whether it's art or anything that's a hobby for you, that is actually helping bring down the cortisol levels in your body and in your brain, and it's really good for you. So it's okay. You have permission to get lost in your hobbies. Journal. Okay, for me, again, I love writing, so this is an easy one, but, you know, some people aren't big into journaling, and, you know, they have these great things on our phones now called voice memos and all these different apps where you can track, you know, your day, and they have journaling apps where you know, can snap pictures of your day or things like that to create this journal. So journal how it works for you, but the idea is to get out those emotions, thoughts, feelings, and get them out so that they're not constantly working in your brain and you're not constantly going over them and constantly rethinking about things. So journaling is really good because it helps to calm the mental processes. Socialize. So I don't know if you know this, but lack of socialization is actually bad for the brain. We actually physically need socialization. We need to connect with people. We need touch. We need to be part of something other than ourselves. And when people get older, they tend to not have that as often as when they're younger. So sometimes it's because they can't get out or they can't move around or because, you know, they don't identify with some of the whatever's current in the social scene. But here's the thing. Being social is about connection. And when you feel like you belong, when you feel that you have a sense of purpose and that you have something to give to this world, it makes your life better. And your mind calms down. So it's important that we socialize. And of course, along with that, which is, I love this, is laugh. I think, you know, my mom has Alzheimer's, and still to this day, even though she can't really communicate, my mom laughs. She has that sense of humor. She's had her whole life. She finds things funny. You see that sparkle in her eye, and she still laughs. And she's taught every one of us kids, and actually her grandkids too, to have a good sense of humor, to find laughter, and to not take life so serious. So to me, laughter is huge. It's a huge part of my life. And a good laugh releases some endorphins and makes your brain feel good, and that calmness comes over, and you have a better outlook on life. So it's really another good piece for staying, you know, calming down the mind. The other two things is listen to music. Music calms you down. And, you know, there is some music, obviously, that doesn't calm people down. I mean, and I think it's totally dependent on every person, because I love techno. I love, you know, I just love that music. And I love EDM and house and all of those. And it's fast, it's upbeat, it's got a high rhythm. And, you know, my mom would never listen to that. Like, it'd be too noisy for her. But for me, I love that. It brings me to this state of peacefulness. And I actually listen to that a lot when I work. So find music you love and listen to it, because it will help calm the mind. And then get regular sleep. If you want your mind to be at its best and to be capable of handling stresses and other things, you've got to get sleep. Good, regular, quality sleep. So, you know, quit making excuses that TV show is worth it. Quit, you know, just do what you got to do so you get the sleep. It's important you get really good sleep, because sleep is the foundation for a lot of activity that happens in the brain, and you really need good sleep. And last but not least, these could each have their own step in how to have an ultra brain, but I've kind of just tagged them on because they're almost so common that we should just know it. You should be exercising, right? Because exercise is really good for the brain. So find some way to exercise. I don't care if it means you're walking from, your bedroom to one end of the house and back a couple of times a day. If that's all you can do, then do it. There's no reason you can't do some form of exercise in your life. So no excuses, exercise. Learn. This is great. Train your brain. Learn something new all the time. That is how you maintain neuroplasticity in the brain, is by learning something new. So don't quit taking classes. Don't quit learning new skills. Don't quit learning new hobbies. Don't quit learning. Become a lifelong learner. Read, watch educational videos. Listen to TED Talks, like anything to keep that process going. Become a lifelong learner. And then disconnect from your electronics. So when you have electronics near you, and we all have them and we carry them with us everywhere and we are on them all the time, but your electromagnetic field around your body gets disrupted from the devices that we use, computers, phones, laptops, tablets, and it can actually disrupt and damage the brain. And I know we don't want to hear that. I know we don't want to believe it. I know that, there's a lot of marketing dollars that go out there to, convince us all that these devices are safe. But the truth is that those electronic waves are still going into our brain, and our brain still has to process it and deal with it. And if you give yourself time away from it, if you disconnect on a regular basis and don't sleep with it by your head on the nightstand and things like that, if you just practice some common sense things around your electronics, it will be better for you. And then Dr. Hyla Cass says that the body-brain connection has the capacity to repair and heal itself when the right ingredients are involved. So we have this amazing body, and all of the systems in the body work together, and they're designed to flow and function as one whole organic system. But we, have these little disruptions and these things that happen. And then, we have, breakdowns in cellular health, which leads to inflammation, which leads to chronic diseases. And we forget. We are so trained to just go to a doctor and get a prescription for some kind of symptom that we forget what an amazing body we have, and that actually our bodies are intended to heal themselves. And if we give it what it needs, it can heal itself. It can do that. So the last little piece that I want to share with you is this. It takes time to clean up the metabolic and immunological and environmental mess we have allowed into our individual ecosystems. First, you have to clear out the toxins, and then it takes months for cellular repair to happen. So don't think it's going to happen overnight. Don't think because you have suddenly changed the way you're eating or you're doing any of the steps that I've said that, immediately tomorrow you're going to have a better brain. I mean, yes, it will be in a better place than it was yesterday, but it's going to take time. It takes time to fix what we've allowed to build up in our bodies. So, oxidative stress is this silent killer that builds in our bodies and causes havoc and damage. And we only know the symptoms. We only see the symptoms. So we have to dial everything back. We have to put back into our body what's right and start incorporating the steps to have a healthy brain. And when we do that, our body will start to kick on. The genes will start to kick on, the mitochondria kicks on, our NRF2 kicks on, and the next thing you know, we start to detox, we start to feel better, we start to look better, we start to have more energy, and our bodies begin the process of cleaning out the toxins and healing themselves. So don't give up. Even if you don't think that you're seeing results, don't give up. When I started on our NRF2 activator, it took like 10 months for me before I began to actually see anything. You know, I mentioned yesterday, my husband saw, I saw some things in my husband in like 2 weeks, but it took like 10 months for me to actually begin to see change. So don't assume that it's a quick process because, depending on your age, you've had decades of allowing your body to build up oxidative stress, and you got to give yourself a break, and you got to be patient with yourself. So if you haven't caught any of the other videos this week, they are all about the 7 steps for having an ultra brain. And if you found any of the information helpful, if you know people who could use this information, please share the video. I would really appreciate that. Again, if you want to kind of follow a nutrigenomics in general and how it affects brain health, please jump in and join my nutrigenomics and the Alzheimer's Connection group. You don't have to have Alzheimer's or know someone with Alzheimer's to be part of the group. You can come just because you want to learn about nutrigenomics, which is the study of food and how it impacts us on a genetic level. And so, if that's what you're interested in, just come and join the group and learn, because I'm always posting information there about foods and what it can do for us. So have a great Sunday. I hope it's a relaxing day for you guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow.